everybody, and welcome to this very special live webinar and Q&A session all about the MLitt Environment, Culture and Communication programme here at the University of Glasgow's School of Social and Environmental Sustainability and our Dumfries campus. My name is Amy. I am delighted to be here today. If you have any questions for us at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can use the comment section or you can go to slido.com. And you can use the code #UofGDumfries as well. So use that code to ask us any questions that you have, or you can use the comment section below. I am joined today with Dr. David Borthwick, who is our Programme Director. Hi, David. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Morning.
Morning. And we're also joined today with Sophia, who is a current student here at the Dumfries campus. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna just dive straight in. We're here to hear all about this amazing program that we have here at the Dumfries campus. So, Dave, I'm going to let you just take it away and dive straight in. Thank you so much.
No, thanks very much, Amy. Thank you for coming, everybody. It's wonderful to take the opportunity this morning to tell you a bit about the program, about environment, culture, and communication. What is it? It is an interdisciplinary degree with an environmental humanities approach, and it explores the relationships we hold with our wild environments and how these evolved. Wild environments is a very busy term. Wild environments may be urban as much as they may be rural. Perhaps more on that later. Across its breadth, what the programme is really looking at is the culture of nature. What does that mean? It means how the environment is interacted with and defined by human responses to it, both historically and in the present. And of vital importance across its elective courses, from those dealing with eco-critical examination of cultural texts, to those considering environmental ethics and behavioural change, is how people think about the environment and how we might learn to communicate environmental ideas to a wide range of public groups with key messages concerning, for example, environmentally responsible behaviour, species loss, or climate change. The rationale for the creation of the course was to create graduates whose skills and aptitudes transcend traditional academic learning silos. We wanted to create graduates who were conversant in more than one kind of environmental discourse. And to do this, the course privileges in many of its assessments an applied approach to communication, with in mind communication with a wide range of different audiences, so journalistic, political, public, and academic. So the programme primarily, if I was to summarise it in its with the most brevity, it's about the culture of nature. It's about how we understand and what attitudes influence key environmental decisions. So students develop a knowledge of environmental debates from cultural and scientific perspectives. They learn to communicate environmental issues using a variety of tools and strategies. So when I say thinking about the culture of nature, what do I mean by that? I'll just unpack that just a little bit more because it's very important. It's easy to love a mountain. And in terms of Scottish cultural attitudes towards landscape, to use a very local specific example, mountains are incredibly important to national identity. They are places where people go for recreation. They are places of dense tourism as well. It's very easy to love a mountain. It's also easy to forget, however, that really the fashion for loving mountains in this way began really with early European Romanticism. That is a movement in culture and thinking towards the end of the 18th and into the 19th centuries, where in the 19th century in particular, Scotland saw lots of visitors drawn to its landscapes because of cultural sources such as literature and such as travellers' accounts. The scene you're looking at there now is from one of Scotland's premier national parks. It's from the Loch Lomond and Trossachs National Park. And the little island you can see in the middle is called Ellen's Isle, or Eilean Mollach, which became famous as a location for fictional goings-on in the work of a 19th century Scottish writer, Walter Scott. It's very easy to advocate for these kinds of landscapes and for their environmental protection. This picture here is taken just down the road from the campus. It's a picture I took myself, and it's of what is locally called MERS, that is salt marsh. This is internationally important and highly biodiverse wetland. It's right on the Solway coast, the Solway Firth being the sea which borders Dumfries and Galloway. This is a vitally important place in terms of, as I've already said, its biodiversity. It's also a crucial carbon sink. This is a landscape which is dense in carbon, which is home to a variety of species which can only exist here. However, it is flat, it is watery, it is difficult to cross. It's much more difficult to love a flat, watery place. Nevertheless, it has just as much importance environmentally as the mountain I showed you a moment ago. But cultural attitudes over time make it easy to love a mountain, but much less easy to love a salt marsh. The communication elements of the program that you will experience when you come, we want you to be able to communicate and advocate for a wide variety of different places on a wide variety of different issues. I find it quite easy now to advocate for a love of the salt marsh. And this could apply to whatever home country you're coming from. What are the neglected environments which are vitally important but hard to love for a variety of different ingrained reasons? One of the things we want to do in the programme is to encourage you to think about, how do I talk to a wide variety of audiences about the issues that are important to where I come from? So what do you do on the course, on the programme? What courses do you take? So I'm moving into the more, the nuts and bolts of it now. There are 4 core courses of which you must take 3. The first is reading the environment, the second, writing the environment, and then you must take at least one of, although you can do both of, environmental communication and environmental politics and society. What will happen is that as a full-time student, you would take 3 courses per semester. So semester 1 is September to December. September 2 is January until April. Across this time period, you would take 6 taught courses. Here are 4 of them. These are the core ones, as I've explained, but there also are elective courses. That is, courses you can choose from. There's a suite of courses that you can choose to take. And that means that the course is highly adaptable to your own particular interests or predilections. You can kind of build the course or design it to inform your own intended future. Here are some of the elective courses. These range from the hard sciences in ecology and conservation, a cultural history of animals. You can consider tourism in the context of climate change, and also environmental ethics and behaviour change. It's also worth mentioning that the very last course there, environmental ethics and behaviour change, the 2 colleagues who you'll be taught by on that course literally wrote the book on the subject. So Dr. Stuart Hanscom there on the left and Dr. Benjamin Franks on the right, they will be teaching you on that course. And so you'll be informed by research which is going on in the school. As a research active school, the research we're doing will inform the teaching that you encounter and that you learn from. So I've told you what happens in the first 2 semesters. What happens after April? So the programme is running from September one year to August the next. This time next year, if you join us in September 2025, which I really hope you will, by the time you reach April, you've completed your 6 taught courses, and then you have a choice to make. Or rather, you should have made the choice by now, and I will nag you to have made it by now. It's my job. You can do one of 2 things. You can either do a dissertation, that is an independent research project. So you produce an original piece of research as your final assignment, which is a document of 10 to 12,000 words, which is your own independent study of a topic of your own choice, so long as that is coherent with the aims and objectives of the degree. So that's one option. Another option is to do a work placement, and that would be at an organisation of the students' choosing. You would be well supported in this. I would discuss with you and help you choose organisations to approach, usually quite early in the year, to see where you can do a work placement. And it's not just that you would go to the organisation and perform as a member of staff there, it is that you would be undertaking a piece of research during the duration of the placement, which was both useful to the organisation, but also pertinent to your future career. So you're doing a piece of research over an 8-week period on placement, and that results in a 7,000-word research report, which is submitted as an assignment, but it's also submitted to the organisation as a piece of useful research in their aims and objectives and in their key domains as well. So all this sounds like a terrific amount of hard work, and indeed it is, but it's fun work, and we do have a lot of fun. You will go on at least one field trip per semester, usually more than that, to a variety of different locations. So we have a think about Scottish landscapes. We take the themes and some of the ideas that we've been discussing in class, and then we get out there and apply them in real places. So that might be in Scotland more widely, or it might be locally in Dumfries and Galloway, which is a hugely interesting area. Within Dumfries and Galloway, we have a dark sky park, we have a UNESCO biosphere, there is the Galloway Forest Park as well. So there are a number of different environmental designations in Dumfries and Galloway with which we engage in class, but we can literally get boots on the ground and apply some of that thinking to these places. So very much applied, very much experiential learning. And there are pictures on the screen of a variety of different field trips that we've undertaken. So we have a lot of fun along the way. I'm going to show you some pictures now of the graduations, which happen in December each year, as proof that it can be done, and you too could have a day of celebration in December in Glasgow to celebrate your being awarded the degree and have your picture taken with a man in a frankly ridiculous hat. Having graduated, what do students go on to do? A variety of different options usually. Environmental journalism is one of the popular careers that students go on to do, or working in environmental comms or advertising, working with environmental NGOs. A number of our graduates go into creative or artistic roles in the interpretation of environmental ideas, or further study to doctoral level. This list is not exhaustive, it simply represents a number of the destinations that graduates have gone on to work in and to be in. So that's really an outline of what the focus of the course is, how it's structured, and what your course options are, and proof that it's possible to graduate at the other side. So thank you very much for your time and attention. You have been listening to me, Dr. David Borthwick, who is the programme convener. And if you have any questions at all that you perhaps after the live stream has ended, you think, oh, I wish I'd asked that question, that's my email address there. Please, do not hesitate to be in touch directly. It's what I'm for. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Amazing information there. It sounds so much fun. Like, can I join? Is there still space? Oh no, and I love graduation as well. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because our graduation ceremony is so lovely, and then we get to spend time with all our students, and hear about all their adventures that they're going to go on to do. So I'm really glad you mentioned that. So thank you so much. We've had so many questions sent in, which is amazing. We're going to bring Sophia on just now, just have a little chat with her, and then we'll come back and answer some questions. If you have any more questions for us, please do keep sending them in. We're going to get all those answers to you. You can use slido.com, and you can use the code #UofGDumfries. or you can use the comment section on YouTube. And don't worry, if you're not watching this live, you can still use the comment section. We still monitor it as much as we can, so we will get answers to you. Please don't worry. Send in your questions. We're more than happy to answer. So for now, Sophia, I wonder if you could introduce yourself a little bit, just tell us a little bit about you and your experience in Dumfries campus so far.
Okay, yes, sure, perfect. So hi, hello everyone. I'm Sophia. I'm currently a student for the program Sustainable Tourism and Global Challenges here at Dumfries. My experience here at Dumfries has been actually pretty amazing since the first day that I came here. The whole environment for me completely changed. So I'm actually from Mexico. So coming to Scotland was like a huge, like shock, but also like in a good way. The whole process of changing like to countries and like enrolling to this school, all of that process, definitely the university has been helping me a lot since day one, which is like a great asset. Everybody's really willing to help you, whether it's accommodation, whether it's to understand like your classes, to understand like the timetable that you're gonna have here. My professors from my program, I have loved each and every one of them. I may have not tell them, but definitely all of them have encouraged me to, pursue research in a further deeper way. It was definitely my first time to be able to approach tourism in that point of view, in like a more sustainable and like more globally aware of what's happening point of view. So definitely it was a big change, but it has been definitely a good one in all of the senses here. And Dumfries itself, the town, it's beautiful. Every time someone mentions that Scotland, it's a beautiful country, believe them. It definitely is. Dumfries has this sense of like community. You're also really accompanied by all of the other students. I was lucky enough to have an accommodation from the uni, which definitely has also have helped with getting to know more students from different programs, for my program as well. We are all definitely going through the same things at the same time. So like that makes you connect with them really, really well. And they are all international, so you get to know other cultures as well.
Oh, that's I'm so glad that's been your experience. Like, that's so exciting to hear. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm sure we've got so many questions to get through, so I'm sure we can talk about this a little bit more, because I'm dying to hear what you think about so much more about Dumfries and the campus and everything. So we'll invite our program director back on to join us here. Hi, Dave. And we've got some questions we'll just dive straight into, I think. So our first question here: can you talk a little more to the culture part of the program, please? What does this mean we'll be learning about? A fantastic question. I mean, of course, the program is environment, culture, and communication. So, Dave, I'll let you take it away a little bit if you wouldn't mind speaking to this a little bit.
Yeah, sure. I think I covered it a little bit in the presentation, in that many of our environmental attitudes are inherited. So what that means is our ideas about what right behaviour or right practice, or the ways in which we view particular places as being positive or negative, is very often quite culturally ingrained. And so what we want to do is to critically address that, is to think about, well, why do we hold the values we do? The example I gave, which is very prevalent in Scotland, is it's very easy to love heathery, mountainous Scottish landscapes. That doesn't mean that they don't come with their own environmental issues, which the cultural inheritance of those ideas perhaps sometimes conceals, or that you can have very, very important and biodiverse places like the salt marsh, but historically they haven't been valued that much. They've been drained, converted to farmland, habitat has been lost. But actually, more modern ideas in the present mean that various environmental organisations in Dumfries and Galloway are taking down the historical farmers' fences, are taking out the field drains, are re-wetting these places to make them more biodiverse. So very often the ideas we have about even what kinds of landscapes are beautiful and what are not, They've been handed down to us using cultural texts. Those might be literary or artistic or simply societal attitudes. Actually, perhaps we need to examine those critically and to think more carefully about the ways that we talk about environmental issues. On a much wider scale, because the question's very wide, climate change is not just a scientific issue. Climate change is a cultural issue. How is it that we're going to address it as societies in different places globally? And that might mean thinking about all the inherited attitudes in the country where you come from. What are people doing to address climate change? Why are they doing it like that? And being able to critically examine that, that's really what the programme's doing with culture.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Brilliant. I really hope that helps answer your question. Thank you for sending it in. We have another question here. What support is there for finding a job? Big question, really important. Of course, we have the full force of the University of Glasgow behind us. So we have all the resources you can imagine when it comes to employability support, with like writing your CV and like your LinkedIn profile and things like that as well. But then again, more on the ground or program specific, we have all the knowledge of, our experts in the school and on this program to help you navigate the world a little bit as well. I'm going to do a slight shout out here to our web pages online. We have dedicated career web pages for every single one of our programs. The link is on your screen now. It's glasgow.ac.uk/schools/SES/postgraduate/careers. Every single program has its own web page. It tells you things like different types of careers you could go for, expecting salaries or like working times and things like that, how to get into these jobs, any current vacancies that are out there right now, and further links to our university resources, our college resources, and our school resources as well. But Dave, do you want to say any more on that? Or Sophia as well? What's your experience been like?
Who's first?
You can go first, Sophia.
I go first. Okay, so really briefly, this actually doesn't even start from when you graduate. It actually starts ahead of time. As they already mentioned, we do have this opportunity of making a work placement. From my experience, my professors have definitely been really supportive. They have also, they learned that I had this interest, so they actually start to, help me with the connections and okay, so I think you can definitely go and talk to these people, or I actually know this person that it can actually fit really well with the project that you're looking to make. So I actually feel like there's a lot of support, even ahead of time of graduating. Of course, as a student, you definitely need to reach out, so they are actually aware of that. But yeah, definitely ahead of time, before graduating, they are also there for you. So
that's great.
Yeah, everything Sophia said is absolutely correct. One of the first questions I ask students is, where are you going? Where are you going? It's one of the first things I ask, because I'm students' advisor of studies as well as the program lead. That means I help you choose the courses that you're going to take. You're designing, when you walk into a classroom and there's you might have me standing at the front, I'm not the most important person in the room, you are. Okay, so you're designing a program, choosing your electives. Where are you going? How do you design the program so that it best fits your interests? So you have the opportunity to do that. Secondary to that is that quite a lot of the assignments because you're a postgraduate student, give you a huge latitude to choose how you're going to go about it. So on the program, for example, one of the core assignments in both semesters is a personal project. And that means the student takes a course theme or themes, applies it to a particular dimension of environmental thinking they are interested in, and presents it as they wish. To give you an example of that, I've just finished marking personal projects from the second semester. One student had considered the declining biodiversity in their home city in Asia, and what they decided to do was to take a course theme and to write a journalistic piece to persuade the occupants of the city to document the species which were vanishing, and to take their pictures and to post them to a specific internet site in order that that loss was being documented, and so that could be used to argue for more sensitive means of urbanisation in different regions in their hometown. So that's something where they thought not just about the message, but the medium and the mechanism by which they might do that. So actually demonstrating skills which in a place of employment would be really vital.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. That's so cool to hear that's what our students are up to, like for an assignment, you know, that's amazing. What an amazing thing to then be able to take forward as well when you're applying for jobs and be able to say, like, look what I did. That's so impressive. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, thank you both so much for sharing. That's brilliant. We have another question that's been sent in here. Great question. I don't have much of an environmental science background. Is that okay? Will I be able to catch up? I mean, we spoke a little to this, but I mean, Dave, I'll let you answer this one.
No, sure. Well, as I said right at the outset, that the programme has the environmental humanities at its heart. So we're looking at the culture of nature. So an environmental science background is not, it might be very, very useful to you, but it's not absolutely necessary. Most graduates who begin the programme do not have an environmental science background, so it's not a barrier.
Great to know. Thank you so much. That's really helpful. Our next question here, we're getting through these really well. Well done, everyone. What accommodation do you recommend in Dumfries? Now, Sophia, you mentioned you stayed in university halls, didn't you? Do you want to talk a little bit to this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually, I'm in accommodation that is called the Brook House. I definitely recommend it. It is an en-suite, so I do get my own bathroom, which is really important for me as well. And so far, the experience in this accommodation that I definitely recommend has been great. All of the shared spaces are, keep clean by all of the students, so everybody do have that sense of community and being like respectful with each other. It also helps us a lot to connect, as I already said, with each one another, and even we also like get together to like make assignments, to talk about like how we're doing here, to like only even just like to chit chat in case like we are like bored, which almost never happens. But yeah, because we're busy. But yeah, it definitely makes you feel like you're starting to have like a second family. Like your super international Scottish family. I would like to say.
I love that. Yeah, your international Scottish family. I love that. That's so cute. And yeah, it must be so nice to be able to. You said this at the beginning as well, but you're all going through this together at the same time, and it's all new for everyone at the same time as well. So having that support must be really special. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And just to let everyone know as well, we have 3 university accommodation halls of residences in Dumfries. So we have Dumfries Halls, which is like basically next door to the campus. We have Brook House that Sophia's in, which is in the town centre. And then we have Laurie Now as well, which is kind of a little bit further out, but still in the town centre. All great options. There's loads of information online about them as well. Sophia, I think you definitely advocate for Brook House. Is that right?
Yeah,
Brook House is the best. Yeah, but you can go online. You can see all the profiles, and it's all there for you as well. Thank you so much. So we have another question. Do you have a reading list? Oh, eager. I love this. Very keen. Do we have a reading list that we can look at over the summer, please? Excellent question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. If you would like a reading list of selected text to look at over the summer, please just email me at the email address that I showed in the final slide. It's not the it's probably live on YouTube is not the place to give a very long book list or a book list. But if you would like one, there's my email address on the screen. Very happy to talk to you about that.
Fantastic, thank you. And a great time to shout out for our library on campus as well. In Dumfries campus, we have our own library. We also have the library in Glasgow in the city campus as well. So lots of opportunity for you when you are studying to get some time away, get some peace and quiet. I always say in Dumfries, you have the best of both worlds. You have our library and all our facilities here on campus, and then you also have all the facilities in Glasgow as well. So if you want to go for a wee trip, you're more than welcome. It's totally fine.
And you can order the books down from the Glasgow Library too. So it's worth saying actually in Dumfries you have access to more reading resources than you would if you were on the main campus.
Yeah, you do. You can have everything sent down. We've got a shared library as well. So you've got other institutions on campus who have all their resources on the library as well, which is also open to you. And a lot of stuff you'll find online also. You'll find that your University of Glasgow student login gets you into pretty much, I think, most online journals and sources that you need. So it's a really powerful thing to have as your University of Glasgow student login. So yeah, definitely worth the shout out there. Thank you so much. I think we've got just got time for one final question here, but please do keep sending them in. As I say, we're monitoring the comment section for a little while yet, so please just send them in. Final question, could I visit the campus before I start my programme? I mean, that is a resounding yes. Of course you can. We are here, we're open. You're more than welcome. You can go online to glasgow.ac.uk/Dumfries. You can book a campus tour, you can book a private tour, you can book a group tour. It's totally up to you. But if you come to campus, we would love to see you here over the summer, anytime before your programme starts. You're more than welcome. We have fantastic student ambassadors, just like Sophia here, an amazing team who are on standby. They're ready to run our campus tours. They're ready to greet you and welcome you and answer all of your questions about what life is like at the University of Glasgow and at our Dumfries campus as well. You are more than welcome. And of course, if we're around, we'll give you the grand tour, not a problem. You can chat to staff, chat to students, get a look around the facilities. It's all open for you to come and enjoy. So you're more than welcome. And I'm sorry, I think that's all we've got time for today for this live session. But as I say, keep using the comment section. It's totally fine. We are here. We're going to be monitoring the comments and answering all of your questions. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in their questions. I really hope this has been helpful. And of course, you can always go back and rewatch this session as many times as you'd like to get all the information that you might need. But for now, I would like to say a huge thank you to Sophia and to Dr. David Borthwick. Thank you both so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute delight to speak with you both. And I look forward to hopefully seeing everyone who's watching, seeing you all in September on campus, if not before. So we'll say bye for now and take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.